Hi guys and gals, it's me, Maddie. Hope you're doing well. Cyberpunk 2077 got delayed. Again. I wish I were surprised. So today we received a letter in black print with a yellow background, and every time I see that yellow background with a ton of text on it, oh my god, I already know what's coming and I'm tired of seeing it. Anyway, we are going to be reading through what CD Projekt Red had to say to us today. Then I'll be delivering my thoughts on yet another delay for such a big, highly anticipated game, the nature of game delays, as well as overall what can we expect from this game and what this delay actually means for the title. Let's get into it. We have decided to move the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 from September 17th to November 19th. Those of you who are familiar with the way we make games know that we won't ship something which is not ready. Ready when it's done is not just a phrase we say because it sounds right. It's something we live by, even when we know we'll take the heat for it. At the same time, we're fully aware that making such a decision costs us your trust, and trading trust for additional time is one of the hardest decisions a game developer can make. And despite we think it's the right decision for the game, we'd still like to apologize for making you wait longer. Our intention is to make Cyberpunk 2077 something that'll stay with you for years to come. In the end, we hope you understand why we did what we did. At the time we are writing these words, Cyberpunk 2077 is finished, both content and gameplay wise. The quests, the cutscenes, the skills and items, all the adventures Night City has to offer. It's all there. But with an abundance of content and complex systems interweaving with each other, we need to properly go through everything, balance game mechanics, and fix a lot of bugs. A huge world means a huge number of things to iron out, and we will spend the additional time doing exactly that. This week, journalists from all over the world are starting to independently play the game. We are eager and quite stressed to hear their opinions, as well as see your reactions when they publish their previews right after we air Night City Wire on the 25th of June. We hope this will satisfy your hunger for the game as we work to polish it for the November launch. Alright, so before I go any further into the nature of game delays, there's always been the mindset of the games industry, which is the right mindset in my opinion, that when a game gets delayed, it's not a bad thing and it's inherently good for the game's health. Sometimes issues are too deeply baked into the product itself to undo it through just a couple month delay, but for the most part, games don't get worse when it comes to delays. And if you're one of the people going, but I want my game now, yes, you are indeed part of the problem. With that said though, there's one aspect of the conversation that always gets smothered because people are always saying, hey, delays aren't a bad thing, you just have to be patient. And that's that two things can be true at once. You can understand the nature of the delay, be happy that the game will come out in a better state, like myself personally, but on the other hand, be pissed off because this is the second time you've been told, hey, this game's coming at this point in time, and it's not. And I'm just trying to remain as authentic as I do in my videos because while I do understand it, man, like this cannot continue to be a thing in the future for CD Projekt Red, the consistent multi-delay launches. We want you to make the best game possible, but this just goes all the way back to what was it, like 2012, 2013? Don't announce the game so far ahead of time. Just keep that in mind for, we'll say, The Witcher 4, all right? But I want to just pick through some of what was said in this letter because I think it's exciting for the future of the game and we can take something positively out of this. Number one, the game's done. It's completely finished. Content, gameplay-wise, done. This makes sense. It was supposed to launch in April this year, if some of you recall, amidst everything else happening around us. And so it should have been done for the most part content-wise. That means now, as of June 18th, as I record this video, they are spending the next 5 months polishing the massive amount of content in this game. I'm sorry, I am one of those people who's a little bit disappointed by this delay more than others, but that excites me, knowing that there is so much content here that they're going to spend 5 months going through it. And I know a lot of big open world titles with tons of quests take many months to polish as well, but 5 whole months dedicated to it, oh my gosh, dude, yes. Like, that to me sounds really nice because that means that hopefully when this game does drop, its sheer size, scope, scale, it will not collapse underneath its ambitions. But it also brings about the conversation of number 2, with its sheer scope and scale, as well as its delay into November, which could be around the time that new generation of consoles are launching, I have to wonder what they're considering with the next gen options. The way I look at it and what I saw when it was originally behind closed doors in 2018, I could not have fathomed ever running on a PS4 or an Xbox One unless it was severely downgraded. And I feel like, and this is a hot take, in 2019 we saw a bit of a step back in some areas. It wasn't as much of a deep dive as the video had really clued you in on. There's a huge difference between 48 minutes of raw gameplay compared to a, what was it, like 15 to 20 minute video that's all clipped up together, highly edited, and showing just bits and pieces of the game. It's a completely different showcase. And so I kind of had a feeling that the game wasn't as in good of a shape as it was when we originally saw it. And I wonder if that was due to the technology as the game grew in size, which, yeah, I just wanted to float down the idea for point number 2 of what are they doing with next gen consoles. Obviously we saw that there's going to be smart delivery, there's going to be a free upgrade there, but do they plan to do anything else with it? Number 3, people are playing it, and this confirms something that I personally expected this year to happen, which is the embracing of digital events. So you guys have seen on my channel before my brutally honest opinion series, where I fly out to a game studio, I play a game early, and I give you guys a completely unfiltered take, which I know a lot of other creators do, but that's just like my brand for the take, I guess. Like, I don't care if they paid for me or whatever, what they've done. I'm just there to play the game and tell you guys, is it good, is it bad, and what did I experience from it. And so with all those previews, you usually, like I said, travel somewhere. But now, given the fact that travel's been severely limited due to a number of reasons, I thought to myself, you know, gaming could go to this digitized space where we can try out these games for previews, for press coverage, like companies enjoy, from our home. You know, games are downloadable. There's got to be a way to transfer them, and it's showing that CD Projekt Red, and I'm sure many other companies, are going to be embracing this idea where press events, as I put them in quotes, are going to be very different from what myself, many other creators, and members of the industry are used to, but it doesn't have you, the consumer, listeners, the audience, missing out on valuable inside baseball on what's happening with the game before launch. So for me, I'm actually more keen to hear what exactly is happening with this game based off people who have played the game rather than Night City Wire. Just for complete transparency, I've not been contacted to play the game at all, which does stink because I've covered the game a lot and I am an RPG guy, but I'm not entitled to it by any means. But man, that would have been so cool. But point being is I've not been contacted by CD Projekt Red, so I will be with you guys just taking in all of the feedback that's coming out, and of course I'll be making videos on all of that. Next week is going to be really dedicated to Cyberpunk 2077 and all of the crazy stuff going on with that, because Night City Wire, I think it's going to be a huge explosion of information, which brings me to point 4, which is, given these previews, given Night City Wire, and now the nature's delay, I've seen a lot of people become a bit skeptical of Cyberpunk 2077. Not an overwhelming amount by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm seeing more of that creep up than usual. And I wonder what happens if, say, Night City Wire does end up coming out and it's not as good as I'm sitting here hoping for it to be, or the previews come out and they're mixed, like a lot of people saying this is incredibly good, and some people saying this is great but there's some snags, and some just saying, hey, yeah, it's good. I'm curious to see where exactly all of that falls. So this letter, while it is a delay letter, tells us a lot, and what's good is that it's not a delay where the game disappears. That's the worst type of delay, of course. This is a delay that leads into a constant drip feed of information. Night City Wire is supposed to be something that continuously happens. I don't know if it's weekly or monthly, but it's supposed to continuously happen, which I think is really exciting. That means we're going to be constantly finding out more about the game, and maybe here's the thing, is that now that they've really truly completed the game content-wise, gameplay-wise, this could be a marketing move. A 5-month marketing window is pretty healthy for a big AAA game that's supposed to, from what we're seeing, dominate the holiday season. I can't help but think that starting off on June 25th, 3 months to market the heck out of Cyberpunk, it just doesn't seem like enough time. if I'm quite truthful. Yeah, it's been around for us in this tight gaming circle, but let's think about mainstream audiences that, of course, CD Projekt Red wants to get their game out to. It's just worth considering. So all in all, I am disappointed by the delay big time, because I don't like the idea of companies promising multiple times that something's coming, nothing's going to change, we're not going to be affected by anything happening, and then they delay the game. At the same time, I feel that the letter that they showed us here today gave us a good look into what's happening with the game, its current state, as well as knowing that, hey, we got a ton of information coming very soon, makes this all a lot easier to swallow. And plus, since people are playing it, it may just dissuade the folks who are going, oh, this game's broken or buggy, or it's a complete lie, it's a sham. When people are playing it and CD Projekt Red is going through that effort to try to convince people of that, I'd say, you know, I could buy in a little bit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's just my thoughts on what's happening with Cyberpunk 2077. Now it's your turn. Fire away in the comments down below. What do you think about this delay? What do you think about Night City Wire coming? And what do you expect from those impressions? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. Love you all. Peace.